Yeah, we back. Yeah, we back. Yes, you already know what time it is. We are talking about the hot topic, the hottest of topics. A senior military officer in the French military tried to overthrow an African government. Of course, it's going to be a follow-up to the video I dropped. Mali arrests a French military veteran in a failed overthrow attempt, as well as France responds to Mali failed overthrow and the arrest of a French military officer. Go check out those videos, as well as all the other videos I dropped pertaining to this topic. Now, like I said before, the adversary is trying his best to bury this topic, keep it out of the news cycle, and his allies are helping him do it. As you can see, this story hit the news, the French government came out and denied it, and it's slowly falling off the map, right? We're gonna just be quiet about it. But me, I'm not gonna be quiet about it. I'm gonna keep talking about it. You see, I wasn't around to say nothing when they went and took out our forefathers. I wasn't there. I wasn't born yet. I didn't have the ability to say something and speak my mind. But now that I'm here, brother, you think I'm not gonna speak? You're not gonna take out a black leader, a head of state, a Pan-Africanist, a living legend, and you think I'm gonna sit by and not say nothing? Brother, you out of your goddamn mind. Anyway, today, I'm gonna be reacting to a video that was put out by Natalie Yamb. You know, I got much respect for Natalie Yamb, and she was talking about the topic. You know, I see a lot of people trying to keep quiet about the topic. Now, we got to talk about this topic, so I'm going to be reacting to what she had to say about the topic, not wasting no time. I'm going to come in and out in my commentary. Let's go.
Hello, my name is Natalie Yamb. Do you know this guy? It's Yann. Yann Christian Bernard Vezilier. Yann is a lieutenant colonel in the French Air Force, converted into an agent of the DGSE, the General Directorate of of French External Insecurity, the Service of Spies and Thugs. Yann was arrested on August 1st, 2025 in Bamako as part of a crackdown aimed at dismantling the preparation of a coup in Mali. He sank so quickly and so well that his main accomplices were picked up one after the other. On August 14th, so 2 weeks after Yann's arrest, the Malian authorities communicated on the subject, revealing at the same time the local military accomplices of the French agent. I do mean military because there are also national and foreign civilians, including other French, who are also behind bars.
The transitional government informed the national public of the arrest of a small group of marginal elements from the Malian security armed forces for criminal offenses aimed at destabilizing the institutions of the republic. Thanks to the professionalism and vigilance of the specialized services, the conspiracy was thwarted, followed by the arrest of the perpetrators on the 1st of August 2025. Among the people arrested is a French national named Vezilier Yann, acting on behalf of the French intelligence service, which mobilized political leaders, civil society actors, and military personnel, including Brigadier General Sabas Dambele Ilneman Sagra.
Where it gets interesting is that France gave diplomatic cover to its spies. Thus, Yann served as the second counselor at the French embassy in Bamako.
All right, we back. Now, I want to touch on the topic of the embassy, because I definitely seen some comments in the comment section. A lot of y'all, and I understand why you feel that way, and I feel the same way too. A lot of y'all said that due to the fact that we have clear evidence that the embassies are being used as a base of operations for espionage, the logical thing to do would be to close the embassy, right? But the thing with that is, unfortunately, due to years and decades of puppet regimes installed by the French government, that instead of doing the bidding of the citizens, they did the bidding of the French government. A lot of our people ended up in the diaspora, living in France, working in France, making a living, right? Raising their families over in France, right? Because in the mind of the French government, right, we already pillaging the country, you know, attacking your heads of state, killing your heads of state. The least we could do is allow you to, you know, get a visa, come to the country, work in the country, go to school, things like that. That's the least we could do, right? We already pillaging the country as it is, right? So that's the mentality. So unfortunately, a lot of our people ended up in the diaspora living in France. So that's one of the main reasons why they might have an embassy. Because in the case of emergency, your people living overseas, they could at least go to the embassy if they run into trouble, things like that. And also at the embassy, you can get legal documents and, you know, all type of other, you know, things that benefits the citizens in the diaspora living abroad. But unfortunately, that's the reality. Embassies are also used as a base of operations for intelligence, as we can see in front of our face. Anyway, let's continue.
It's often like that. It is customary, especially among major powers or imperialist countries, but not only them, to infiltrate professional spies into the diplomatic staff. Thus, agents of the DGSE, the CIA, the MI6, the SVR, the MSS notoriously operate under the guise of positions such as advisor, secretary, or attaché within the embassies of France, the United States, the United Kingdom, Russia, and China. We understand why France waited until it was backed against the wall, broadcast worldwide by the Malian authorities on August 14th, to react 2 days later, even though its employee had disappeared and was unreachable for 2 weeks.
All right, we back. Now, y'all remember when I made a reaction video about the French government finally putting out a statement like 2-3 days later, right? By the time the French government put out a diplomatic statement, I already dropped like 3-4 videos by that time. I was like, damn, y'all not gonna say nothing? And the French government was the first to know that the plan had failed. They were the first to know. If you were truly innocent, you would come out immediately and protect your name, right? You got to defend your honor. You're not gonna put out a lie on me and I'm not gonna say nothing. But when you sit back 48 hours, 72 hours, you're not gonna say nothing, bro. They accuse you of trying to kill their president. You're not gonna open your mouth and defend yourself. And when they finally defended themselves, they put out a weak statement, a pure copy and paste statement. He works at the embassy. He is a diplomat. He is innocent. Let him go. Anybody else, if you were truly innocent, you would put out a fiery statement in retaliation. But when you put out that copy and paste statement, we already know what time it is with you, bro. Now, anyway, let's continue.
After referring to Vezilier as just an ordinary citizen, they now brandish her status as an embassy employee and demand her immediate release. No, niet, nada, nixta, zero. In view of the Vienna Convention, which came into force in 1964, it is not written anywhere that diplomatic agents have the function of fomenting, organizing, facilitating coups d'etat to overthrow the host country's regime, planning its destabilization, recruiting terrorist mercenaries, or to sponsor attacks against the citizens of the host country, neighboring countries, or third countries. On the contrary, the convention in its Article 41 requires respect for the laws of the host country and prohibits diplomats from interfering in the internal affairs of the accrediting state.
I told y'all the same thing last week. I told you when they came out with that fraudulent statement. I said, yes, diplomats are provided certain protections and privileges above the average citizen. But on the other side, you have to actually respect the laws of the state. You cannot interfere with the internal affairs of the state. And you definitely cannot sponsor an attack or organize a conspiracy against the head of state. Come on now. Let's continue.
You do agree with me that preparing a coup d'etat is a fundamental interference in a country's affairs, don't you? Immunity does not apply at all to activities that fall outside the scope defined by Article 3 of the Vienna Convention. What the DGSE agent Vezilier did is not covered by diplomatic immunity, and his arrest by the Malian authorities does not in any way contravene the spirit of the Vienna Convention. By stepping outside the scope of his duties, he also stepped outside the scope of his immunity.
As you can see, it's an open and shut case. It's an open and shut case. Now, what the French government did not expect was the Malian authorities going on the international media and releasing the name and the photo of the face of the intelligence agent. I know that was definitely unexpected. Worst case scenario, they probably thought, okay, he got captured, maybe something bad happened to him, but they didn't expect it to be like a, international, story where they put him on blast, right? We put him on blast. You see, the captain, when the captain that caught those spies, he didn't even put the spies on blast like that. He didn't put out their name and their photo or nothing like that. You see, goita, he was like, listen, we putting out his name, his full name, his military rank, his middle name. I mean, they put out everything, man. We put the adversary on blast on Front Street. The adversary was butt naked. Anyway, let's continue.
The Vienna Convention organizes diplomatic protection, but it does not organize the protection of banditry. The state is justified in going after the bandit if the embassy is harboring criminals, or in arresting an embassy employee if the latter is a criminal who threatens the security and public order of the host state. Sovereignty takes precedence over international law. Always the famous double standards. Do you think that if an African diplomat uses his presence in France to organize young Arabs from the suburbs to commit attacks in Paris, he will be covered by the Vienna Convention? Seriously? Before our eyes, when Niger declared the former French ambassador Sylvain Médiocre persona non grata in August 2023, he simply refused to comply and barricaded himself in the French embassy like the bandit he is, like the bandit he is, like the bandit he is.
Now time out. Only my real day one subscribers that was following me for over 2 years. Because you remember when the military government in Niger came to power, the same way I'm covering this story every single day, I was covering that story every single day, right? I was one of the very few talking about it at the time because I understood the geopolitical value of Niger. I understood the entire European continent was pillaging the uranium in Niger, and the fact that that government fell out of the hands of the adversary, brother, I knew what time it was immediately. My day one subscribers, you remember, I was here every single day talking about the coup in Niger. And you remember during that time, the military government kicked out the French ambassador. You remember that? Take a look up on the screen. Niger orders the French ambassador to leave the country within 48 hours, right? The military government, they took power in July 2023. They told the French ambassador to leave the country August 2023. And you remember, France defies the ultimatum for the ambassador to leave. Emmanuel Macron at the time, he had the nerve to say, we're not leaving the country. We're not acknowledging the government. You're illegitimate, right? And y'all remember, I was here every single day, every single night, defending my brothers, defending the legitimacy of my brothers. And at the time, my channel was tiny. My channel was very small at the time, but still, I was still banging like I had 1 million subscribers. And y'all remember, take a look up on the screen. Niger's military regime orders the police to expel the French ambassador and revoke his diplomatic immunity. You remember, I was here every single day, man, reporting on every single story. Man, live updates. The same way I'm coming every single day talking about the failed coup in Mali. Listen, we've been here since day one. We not some newcomers to this. We've been following the brothers since day one, riding with the brothers since day one, since the day they took power. Since they first came to power, I've been on my channel for years riding for my brothers. Anyway, let's continue.
In fact, even if the rule is universal, international law has always been applied asymmetrically, according to the balance of power and strategic interests. In the AES, the balance of power is in our favor. Yann is in jail in Bamako and is set to stay there for quite a while. I would like to warmly commend Lieutenant Colonel Suleiman Bala Arabe of the Nigerian DGDS, Commander Umaru Yabre of the Burkinabe ANR, and Colonel Modibo Kone of the Malian ANSC, and their teams for the quality work they are doing and the confident rise in power of our intelligence services.
All right, we back now. Once again, shout out to Auntie Natalie Yamb. And that's the same thing I said the other day, right? I said, instead of focusing so much time on the traitors, of course, we understand about the traitors, but we also have to pay homage to our brothers who stayed true to the game, stayed faithful to the regime. And also, we have to pay homage to the brothers that she named those were all the heads of the intelligence agencies in the AES, right? The chief of intelligence of Niger, the chief of intelligence in Mali and Burkina, right? So we have to pay homage to our brothers too. We can't just talk about the traitors. Listen, we outmaneuver and outsmart the traitors. The traitors cannot, get the best of us. So we're not going to spend too much time talking about that. We have to pay homage to our brothers for the excellent job they've been doing. Outsmarting, outmaneuvering, diddy bopping, hitting the Zinedine Zidane 360, Ronaldinho on the adversary every single time they step on the field. We have to show love to our brothers, man. Now, anyway, let's continue.
Too often, foreign spies and criminals disguised as diplomats are released or sent back to their country where they are obviously never tried. We saw it again with the 4 agents of the French DGSE that Burkina Faso released shortly before Christmas 2024 after a year of detention in Ouagadougou. When we know that their mission is to lead people to betray their country and their convictions, it is not only vital to punish local traitors with all the necessary deterrent rigor, but also to apply this to these agents of evil, to whom we owe the situation we are currently experiencing in the Sahel and in Lake Chad.
Time out, man. Let me find out Auntie Natalie Yamb be watching the channel. Let me find out Auntie Natalie Yamb be watching the channel. Man, nothing but love. Natalie Yamb, nothing but love. I got much respect. I was watching your content before I started making content. So if by any chance you are watching my channel now, listen, just know I am honored. I got much respect, and clearly great minds think alike. But anyways, man, like I said, This situation could have ended very tragic, and we could have been telling a different story today. But unfortunately for the adversary, it was us that came out victorious in this engagement. And hopefully in the future, there's more victories to put up on the board. Anyways, man, it's your boy Nathalie that's Elaine back in the building. Yes, indeed. 21 Cannons, first single off the new project. Pin comment at the top, link in the description. Subscribe to their Patreon, NTD1814, and I'm gone. Peace.
King of the North and I feel like Moise. Took a few losses, I'm back on my feet. Selling they soul for trinkets and cash. Right on the front like the leader from Chad. Feel like a see me, I feel like I'm Idris. Walking on gold, I handle my business. Honor, integrity, money, and power. Told me she love me, she want me in power. Told her I'm sorry, I didn't mean to hurt you. Told her come over, come see me in person. Told her come over, I'm sick of the talking. Don't got no time cause that money be calling. Working all night and I'm up in the morning. Love when I call her, she love my attention. Body and soul, I'm truly protected. Back on that road and big body business. Told her I love her, I told her she mine. Get in that passenger seat, we gon' ride. Back on my mission, that money been stacking. Came from the bottom, I'm steady expanding. Run to the check and I pull up and vanish. Grabbing the neck from the back when I smash. Don't need no question, they know it's official. Cut from the cloth and my life ain't no fiction. Ride for the scene like I'm army enlist. Gotta stay focused, I'm moving deliberate. Heart of a king and my heart full of pain. Look at my neck and it's flooded with chains. And I got Desaline blood in my veins. Enemy watching, I stay with a flame. Keep it 100, they know how we move. Black on black beam, interior blue. How you gon' leave me? I told you I love you. Pain in my heart, you knew I was trouble. Enemy watching, they wanna invade it. Hoping my brothers don't never betray us. Been on my mind and I hope I can save us. Look at my flaws, I don't see perfection. But I'm authentic, I'm whipping the 7. Like it's a phantom, I'm still manifesting. Gotta get money, I gotta get paid. Stay on my toes when I'm ducking these snakes. Go to my wrist and the queen on my arm. Feeling my energy, loving my charm. Might go put Desaline face on a piece. Ready for war, that's how you get peace. Know I'm protected, I'm ready for action. When I walk in, I need 21 cannons. Secret location, I'm up in the palace. One of a kind and she loving my manners. One of a kind and I'm telling the truth. His and her Bentleys, I gotta get two. Feeling like future, we never gon' lose. Feeling like Garvey, I'm running the block. Entering off firm and I'm letting off shots. King of the North and I'm up at the top. How you gon' leave me? I told you I love you. Pain in my heart and you knew I was trouble. Enemy watching, they wanna invade it. Hoping my brothers don't never betray us. Been on my mind and I hope I can save us. Look at my flaws, I don't see